Alright guys, today I wanted to do a new video here. I wanted to do a crash course on all of the cards, and I'm going to jam it into the shortest possible video that I can so that you guys can pass this link around, especially to your new recruits joining the game, and they can learn about the cards super quick in just a few minutes. So let's just jump right into it here. The first card I want to go over is the Blood card. This card has a 5-hour cooldown, and it's a self-heal, so it only works on you, and it only gives you a 20% boost in health. So you can only use it a couple times a day. It's free. It comes with your deck when you join the game. Super awesome because you'll always have this on you. That doesn't cost money. It's like a worst case scenario heal. You want to save this for when you're alone in a battle. When you have friends with you, you just ask them to heal you because the healing cards for your friends work better, and I'll explain that in a little bit here, but this is like a last minute desperation heal card to have on you at all times, which you will. Okay, so next card here. This is Lord's Armor here. Let's pull this up and get some more information. Basically what this does is for a few seconds here, your attacks, so like you'll target on somebody, and then when they attack you for a few seconds, their sword hits, instead of doing 5% damage, it's only gonna do 1% damage, okay? And this lasts 15 seconds. So for 15 seconds, when they're smacking you with the sword, it's only going to do 1% damage to you instead of 5%. This is a great card for different card combinations, which we're going to go over in a little bit here. And this has 2 uses as well before it disappears. So, okay, next card. Next card is Divine Blow. This is by far my favorite card in the deck. It remains, in my opinion, the strongest card. It's the easiest to use as a new player. Basically, you throw it down after targeting somebody, and you have 15 seconds to hit them once with the sword. Once you do that, it damages them 25%, okay? I kill people with this card constantly. There's a 10-minute cooldown, so you can keep buying it throughout the day. There's only one use, so every time you use it, you're going to have to go back and buy more. But this card is a killer card. It's my favorite. It's amazing. OP. I love it. Next. Okay, this one is by far the most complicated, in my opinion, card in the deck. Basically, what this card does, you cast it on your opponent, and so you stand there and you want them to hit you, and basically when they hit you, the damage reflects off of you and damages them. Okay, so you want to get them to hit you twice because it has 2 uses. So each hit is 15% damage. So if they hit you twice, you get the 30% damage. So it's basically a suicide card. You can stand there when they're below 30% and watch them kill themselves when they hit you. It's amazing. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck. It does tell the opponent that you casted it. So anyone that knows what this card does, they're going to make it a point to go out of their way to not hit you because they know it's going to reflect back on them, okay? So you want to time this perfectly and drop it right as they're about to hit you. Otherwise they might know and they might not hit you because of it. So keep that in mind. Next card, Darkness of Death. This card basically, it just drains the enemy's mana here. Okay, so it does it over time. It says you lose 10% every 5 seconds for 20 seconds. So basically 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay, so it's 40% mana, okay? So somebody that uses a lot of cards like me, you can really mess them up with this card. I don't feel enough people use it. Like, you could get you and a couple of your members and throw this on a card caster together, and you could really screw that person up, okay? Yeah, so that's what that card does. Next. Oh, okay, so this is, This is Burst of Laments. This is one of my favorites as well, because what it basically does here, don't read the description because it gets a little confusing. It does 10% damage, okay? And you don't have to do anything. They don't have to hit you. You don't have to hit them. All you do is cast this, and it drains their health 10%. It does take a few seconds to sink in here. So it takes a few seconds for their health to go down here. But it does have 2 uses. It has a... hold on, let me check the cooldown. It has a 10-minute cooldown as well, so you can keep using it throughout the day. It's really awesome. Next. Oh, okay, so this is Bite of the Poisonous Wolf. I never use this card because I thought I understood how to use it, and then once I realized the true way to use it, I was like, oh, why would anyone use that? Basically what it does is, you cast it on an opponent, okay? And then it notifies the opponent, unfortunately, that you cast it on them. And basically you have a few seconds to get them to drop a card. 40 seconds, okay? So you cast it on them, and then if they drop a card within those 40 seconds while that card is active, it deals them 25% health damage. But the thing is that it tells the enemy that you casted it, so they're going to go out of their way to not cast a card if they know anything about this card. They're going to go out of their way to not cast it, okay? So that's why I don't use this card, because if they don't throw down a card, it's just a waste. But it does have 2 uses here. I am looking forward to see... Maybe there is a good tactic to use in this card. I heard that somebody was using it to basically take out people that were dropping Landom cards over their cards. Like, they'd show up and they'd get ready to drop their card over theirs. So they'd cast Bite of the Poisonous Wolf on them and try to time it so that when they dropped their Landom card over theirs, that it would, you know, bounce back and damage them 25%. But that's still a test, ongoing test. It does work though. This next one is one of my favorites. It's Vampire Aura. Basically what it does is it does crazy amounts of damage to the opponent, and it also heals you, okay? So basically what it does, the description's also a little confusing here, so I'll sum it up here for you. For 20 seconds, you want to try to hit the enemy as many times as humanly possible, okay? And each time that you do that, you get 8% damage with the sword instead of 5%. And with each sword hit, each 8% sword hit, you get healed 3%, okay? So this is great because it does a crazy amount of damage. It messes the opponent up and it heals you. It heals you, so you want to try to smack them as much as possible. And this card does not tell the enemy that you casted it, so they have no idea what's going on and they get super confused, okay? This is amazing because of that. This one, in my opinion, is the best healing card in the deck. It's called Stir Hug. Basically what it does, it has 2 uses here, and it has a 10-minute cooldown. And what it will do is it will heal only your friend's health back up to 100%. And there is a 10-minute cooldown in between each use. You can use it twice. Now, it doesn't work on yourself, so don't try to do that because it won't work. I've tried it. The HUD will yell at you and say you need a target. And also be careful not to cast it on the enemy, because if you accidentally have the enemy targeted while you're fighting and you cast this card, guess what? You're going to heal them, and it's been done before. That's all I'll say. This next one I've never used. Basically what it does, it's supposed to break the effects of poison cards, but I don't really see how it would be useful to waste 30% mana to cast it, just because these poison cards, they're like such a short timer that, like, I don't see... You'd have to time this just right, and even then, I don't know. It's a work in progress. If I figure out more things about this card, I'll let you guys know. This card I understand, but I've never used it either. Basically, you can sacrifice yourself, and it kills you. This card will kill you, but it'll get your friend's mana back up to 100%. I've never used it just because why would I kill myself and leave my friend by themselves in a battle where we're already outnumbered probably to bring their mana back up? Like, I'd rather go down fighting with my friend by my side than kill myself to get their mana. It just makes literally no sense, but that's okay. It just means it's a test in progress, and I'm gonna figure it out. Just need some more time here. Okay, so this one is Red Hand. This one, basically, after testing it, I discovered that it heals your friends over time. It's a heal over time, and it will heal them 20%. Okay, so it's not as strong as Stir Hug, and it's not instant like Stir Hug. It takes a few seconds to kick in. It does have 2 uses, and it has a little bit of a cooldown. It's got 15 minutes in between uses here, I believe. Anyway, let me double check to make sure the card is still... Okay, yes, it has a 15-minute cooldown. It has 2 uses. And like I said, the health will go up over 20 seconds. It's not instant, and it doesn't work as good as Stir Hug. So my advice is to use Stir Hug first when you're on the battlefield with your friends, and then if you run out and you have the mana and you wanted to keep healing your friend, you can cast Red Hand on them, and it will give them a little boost, which could be the difference between life and death. Okay. This next card, Nightmare. This is my least favorite card in the deck. It's basically what it does is it makes it so when you cast it on the enemy, they can't damage you with sword hits for 10 seconds. Okay, so it basically breaks their sword. So in theory, the opponent wants to cast it on you and try to hit you as many times as they can, because when you hit them, you can't do damage for those 10 seconds. I hate it because it only lasts 10 seconds. It costs a little bit more than the other cards, and like I've noticed that the other cards just work better, so I end up not using this. But I have seen a lot of people use this card. It does tell the enemy that you casted it too, so whenever anyone casts this on me, I just run away because I know that my sword is broken, so why would I just stand there like a sitting duck to, you know, have the enemy, because you know they're going to rush at you. You know they're going to try to hit you for those 10 seconds, so I just run away. But I could see some interesting card combinations. Like, what if I cast Devil's Touch on them, you know, and let them hit me, and then I end up damaging them 30%? That would be pretty funny. I need to try that. Venomancer. Okay, Venomancer is really, really similar to Devil's Touch. Basically what it does, from my understanding, I'm still testing this card, so you can comment on the video if I'm incorrect with any of this information, but basically what it does is you'll have a few seconds to get the enemy to hit you. This is also like this card, Devil's Touch, where the enemy hits you and then it damages them and reflects off of you and hits them. Basically, instead of only 2 hits and that 30% damage like Devil's Touch, what it does, what I believe, is it's unlimited. So you'll have 20 seconds here, okay, to have them hit you as many times as possible. And each time that they hit you, it reflects off of you and hits them for 5%, okay? I've seen a lot of people use this, but here's the thing. It tells the enemy that you casted it. So whenever anyone uses this card, I just run away, because I know that if I hit them, it's going to reflect. It's going to reflect off of them, and it's going to hit me. So I just run away for a few seconds until it's over. But I do see, like, if you time this just right when an opponent is rushing at you, especially somebody that really doesn't like you and they're doing anything they can to try to kill you, you could just cast this and just stand there and watch them blow themselves up, especially if you threw down Devil's Touch at the same time. I really want to try one day for someone that really, really wants to kill me. Just cast both of these cards and just see if I can kill them by just standing there and not even doing anything. That's a test. Okay, Wall Protector. It just recently changed, okay? So basically what Wall Protector does is it makes you invulnerable to sword hits for a few seconds here, okay? It used to be 5 minutes, okay? And it just recently changed to 15 seconds. So for 15 seconds, you will be invulnerable to sword hits. So this works good if you're outnumbered, and it gives you a chance to focus on whoever you're trying to kill, while everyone else can't damage you because you're invulnerable to sword hits. However, you are not invulnerable to cards. So if someone casts this on themselves, and you know that, you can always still hit them with a card here. And the thing with Wall Protector is it doesn't tell the enemy that you casted it. So, I mean, that's good. And it only works on you. You don't have to worry about it, you know, accidentally being casted on an enemy. So that's good. But basically the only way to know that an enemy had casted it is if you go to hit them, it smacks them with the sword. So it does like the sword clanking, smacking noise if your sounds are on. But it doesn't do any damage and nothing shows up in local that you damage them. So that's how you know. It gets a little tricky if there's a little bit of lag on the sim. But for the most part, it works pretty well. The fact that it's 15 seconds now, I stopped using this card. Just because... I mean, it used to be one of my favorites, but now that it's 15 seconds, I'd rather spend my mana on, like, the Suicide cards, or this Vampire Aura card, or Divine Blow, or this card, that the 15 seconds isn't really worth it to me. I mean, I could see this being more valuable now, like, you know, only taking 1% damage while I beat the crap out of the opponent. Seems like a better deal to me, but... Anyway, that's the new changes on that card. This card is the mana card. It's the most expensive card that you can buy. It's 100 lindens. I mean, it just makes your mana go all the way back up to 100. And what I will do, the reason why I always like crush people with cards is because I'll make sure my mana's full before I go out, and I'll also make sure that I have a mana card on me, so that during the fight, when I run out of mana, I just throw this on my slot bar and I drink it real quick, and then I can use 3 more cards. It's extremely beneficial, it's extremely useful, it's expensive. What I started doing, and maybe this will help another kingdom too, is I set up a ATM on my kingdom land, and basically I will put some money in there every few weeks, and if people need help buying cards, especially the mana card, they can come in and withdraw the funds. It's kind of like a guild bank on an MMO. They can come on, they can take some funds out, they can buy the mana card, and they can have what they need. So that's just an idea. But that is all the cards other than this land domination card. Basically, the land domination card, what that does is you drop it to be able to take a land. It doesn't open up until you hit 10% experience. If you try to hit it before that, it doesn't work. But once you hit 10% experience, you'll be able to take lands and drop cards. You'll also be able to see other people's land doms. And what it will do is it'll give your kingdom a land domination point. And once your kingdom reaches 500 points, that's what it is right now, you can trade it in, and everybody kingdom-wide gets 10% experience, okay? You can do this once per hour, take a land, and you have to stay for 15 minutes and hold the land and fight off anybody. You also want to have backup card casters because somebody might come in and drop their card over yours. And also, don't take lands alone because you might get overrun. You never know who's going to show up. It broadcasts it kingdom-wide. I'm sorry, it broadcasts it game-wide to everybody in the game, so everybody will know that you're trying to take a land, and they'll be given your landmark to teleport right to you, okay? So be careful. But that's it for my card class video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, just, you know, get in my IM box, comment on the video. I love when you guys are interactive and you comment, like it, follow me, add me. You can add me in World. We can talk. We can become friends. I'll answer any questions about the cards that you have. And I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.